Hello and welcome to your daily devotional for today, December 2nd. My name is Pastor Carmen, and our question from John Wesley today is, do I even appear on the outside to be a Christian? It's kind of a funny question for me to answer personally, but let me share my story anyway. So I've been living next door to my neighbor for 5 or 6 years when she showed up at church one Sunday morning. I was so happy to see her. My family went and sat with her. I introduced her to the people. And then after the service, I wanted to introduce her to the pastor. So I grabbed him and brought him over and I said, "Pastor, I'd like you to meet my neighbor Trish. This is her first Sunday." And then Trish said the most embarrassing, unthinkable thing imaginable. She said, "I came here by myself. Do you know she's never even invited me to church?" I was shocked. I was horrified. I wanted to fall into a hole. I talked to Trish about church before. She knew I went to church and where I went to church. But I neglected to do the very basic thing Jesus told us to do. To make disciples, to tell people about Him, and today that means invite people to church. Now, in my defense, I had all the same excuses. I'm sure a lot of you do too. I didn't want to put her on the spot. I was afraid she might say no if I invited her to church. I didn't want her to think I was judging her or thought that she needed church. I just assumed that if I lived my life and she knew I went to church, then that invitation was implied. Well, I learned in a very real way that the invitation is not implied. It didn't matter how good I thought I looked on the outside, or even if I mentioned church in casual conversation. My neighbor didn't know whether or not I was a real Christian or just an almost Christian, or maybe somebody pretending to be Christian. And this is before I had the crazy haircut and color. This is when I had my soccer mom hair. But she didn't know. She wasn't sure. So now when people ask me why I'm happy or why I'm confident or why I seem so calm or at peace under pressure, I tell them it's all because of God. That God is my everything, and without God's strength, I wouldn't be able to do these things. Would you pray with me? God of light, help us to embody your Spirit so that we may extend your invitation of grace to your beloved. Amen.